picture and sound. Maybe it takes a minute for the notification to go out. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. Feel free to read up there at the top. I can't see no video right now. Okay, I see it now. All right. You see what the you see what it is. All right. I'm gonna get back to the uterus transplant. Okay, I'm gonna get back. I want to show you some things. Let me walk it backwards. Okay. I just want you to put that in your mind right now. Okay. All right, but I'm gonna start with these videos. I was gonna do it about three black men that they found with their organs missing and dead. I was gonna do it about that, but then you know, then I looked at this and I knew it was a bunch of black women missing also. But let me get started. I want you to think critically. Do your own thinking. I know I'm being sarcastic, but deal with it. I know some of y'all are just used to the media giving you your thoughts. You're used to the government thinking for you. If you plan on surviving, I'm just saying, learn to question everything, even question the information that I'm giving you. That way, you're not easy to be manipulated. I love strong minds. All right, let's get started. All right, let me turn this up. Make sure you get the volume comes up good. All right.
The case of Kendrick Johnson, the Georgia high schooler whose body was found upturned inside a rolled-up gym mat earlier this year, has taken a macabre and disturbing turn. After months of campaigning, his parents, unconvinced his death was an accident, won the right to have his body exhumed. A second autopsy has revealed missing organs and signs of foul play.
You hear that? He had missing organs, but they ruled it a suicide. Play it back.
The case of Kendrick Johnson, the Georgia high schooler whose body was found upturned inside a rolled-up gym mat earlier this year, has taken a macabre and disturbing turn. After months of campaigning, his parents, unconvinced his death was an accident, won the right to have his body exhumed. A second autopsy has revealed missing organs and signs of foul play.
Okay, you hear that? Signs of foul play.
A Lowndes High School student found Johnson's body upside down in the mat on January 11. The initial investigation concluded Johnson had probably fallen
Notice
while reaching for a sneaker.
See, when they do an investigation, they supposed to come to ain't no probably. You supposed to know. But listen.
Johnson had probably fallen in while reaching for a sneaker, as some students stored gym shoes in the rolls. There, he became trapped and suffocated.
That don't even make sense. I mean, look. I mean, the drawing might be off, and it might not be the right. But look, that doesn't even make. Why not just knock the mat off over and get your shoes out from under the mat? That don't make sense. And then if you're in there, well, he was fell over. Okay, but listen.
Unsatisfied, Johnson's parents won permission to exhume his body. A June 15 autopsy turned up wads of crumpled newspaper stuffed inside the body's cavities. All the organs from the waist up were missing. The doctor also found evidence of blunt force trauma consistent with intentional injury on the right side of Johnson's neck and jaw. He concluded this caused the 17-year-old's death.
Okay. The autopsy the family paid to get found evidence somebody killed him, but the authorities, the police, had ruled it suicide. We just gonna have to start to getting our own autopsy. what it boils down to is what is it worth to us? You know, we have to make them change their tactics. If not, they're gonna keep running the gambit, keep running the table.
Although not found to be Johnson's, flecks of blood found on the gym walls remain.
Okay, there's blood right there on the wall. Whose blood is that?
Found on the gym walls remain unidentified. The Georgia Bureau, although not found to be Johnson's, flecks of blood found on the gym walls remain unidentified. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which conducted the first autopsy, said Johnson's organs were replaced before the body was released to the Harrington Funeral Home in Valdosta.
Okay, his organs was missing before his body was given to the funeral home. Okay, who had his body before it was given to the funeral home? No, they're not bringing that up. Who was in possession of his body before it was given to the funeral home? They say his organs come up missing. Where are his organs at? We got to start asking questions. All right. Let me move on to the next one. This guy here, he was LGBT. So where is the LGBT community? He been dead a few years now. Where is they at speaking out for this brother? He said, why did I bring them up? They don't care about us. This is an old white supremacist trick to divide us and to dilute our interests. A lot of people is confused into thinking you gay first. And the fact of the matter is, the police, if they kill you, they're not going to be worried. They're not going to ask you your sexuality. You could choose not to dress or look a certain way if you're gay. You can't pull that black skin off. You got me. Okay. Where was the LGBT community calling out Ed Buck when he killed all them gay black men in his house? A big contributor to the Democratic Party. Where was the LGBT community speaking out against him killing black men, black folks coming out of his? All of these folks is working against us, people. All right, let me move on.
Yeah, Faith, even years later, it's still a case that has a lot of public interest. Now, when Ryan was found, his eyes, heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys were missing. He had rented a car to drive from LA to Vegas, and
his organs missing too, by the way.
So Ryan gets flown out to LA by a friend. No one really knows who this guy is.
Another video.
Yeah, Faith, even years later, it's still a case that has a lot of public interest. Now, when Ryan was found, his eyes, heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys were missing. He had rented a car to drive from LA to Vegas, and after just a few hours into his drive, his car ran out of gas. That's when California Highway Patrol picked him up and drove him to a gas station. At that gas station was where he was last seen alive. 74 days later, his body was found 2 miles away, and years later, his family still doesn't know how he died.
There are a lot of questions and answers that I'm still seeking 6 years later for my son, Ryan.
It's something a mother should never have to do, bury her son.
They have not concluded a manner or cause of death. They listed as undetermined.
Iris Flores says her son's autopsy report left her with so many questions.
2 tattoos were cut off. According to the autopsy, it tells you that the flesh, there was one here behind his ear, and there was one here on his left shoulder, and it tells you that that flesh was missing.
Ryan Singleton left Georgia to chase his dreams. The journey captured on camera for a docuseries called Are We Famous Yet?
The inspiration for our docuseries was simple. It was Ryan. We wanted to document his journey and become the model.
And now that docuseries has turned into a tool to help solve the case.
He has a video diary that his gracious brothers, his producer brothers, are making into a docuseries so that we can let Ryan shed light on his own story, his own self.
Okay. Another brother missing all kind of organs. All right, let me read this one. This is the recent one. Look here, though. Jelani Day. People been talking about him. Jelani Day. Family upset. FBI looking at 25-year-old death as a possible suicide. They found him with organs missing, but the feds want to look at suicide. Keep telling y'all, my people, we don't have no friends. It's either Yahweh or it's no way. All right. And just look. Then they got this suicide hotline up here, right up on it. But nevertheless, let me see. The FBI is now involved in the death of Illinois graduate student Jelani Day. It is what his family wanted since the day he went missing. All right, Bloomington, Illinois. The FBI is now involved in the death of Illinois graduate student Jelani Day. It is what his family wanted since the day he went missing. Okay, but they are not pleased with how investigators are approaching the case. Right now, we have more questions than answers, and we need to start getting some answers for our questions before we know the next steps, said the Day family attorney. Okay. Hallie Besner. It took days for authorities to send a search team to look for the missing 25-year-old and almost a month to identify his body once it was discovered. Look, days. You know, usually when the police is lazy and don't want to do nothing, they'll say you have to wait 24 hours. But it took days. This tells us we're going to have to get our own family out here involved. That's what it tells us. I got a large family. Maybe something happened. Maybe. I ain't no maybe. Yeah, you got to get your family involved. You got to get your so-called friends involved. After all, if they love you, it ain't about no money. All right. And then look. And almost a month to identify his body once it was discovered. Come on now. All right. Now his mother is angry that instead of tracking down suspect, the FBI is looking at Jelani's case as a potential suicide. This is looking like a doggone. I'm looking at the evidence, and it's looking like it's a big, massive organ stealing ring going on, with far-reaching implications. The feds don't want to do their job. They want to tell the black folks it's suicide when they find a man dead and his organs missing. What did he do? He took his organs out. He cut all his organs out before he killed himself. Okay, well, what are organs? They should be by his body. Come on now. All right, let me keep reading. He had a sound mind. She shouldn't even have to explain that. The question she should be saying is, like I just said, where's his organs at? Where's the organs at? That's what she should be asking. Okay, if it's a suicide, then okay, what evidence? What did he cut his organs out with? What did he use to cut his organs out with? What are utensils? What are tools? All right, they found him in water. They said he found him in water, but let me continue. Maybe he won't jump to a conclusion. See, black folks, you have to start watching these crime scene shows and videos. Learn how they gather evidence and work from there. Go to the so-called crime scene yourself and take video, take cameras out there, take pictures out there, and look for anything that's out of place. This ain't rocket science. Rocket science. This will make them change their tactics. All right. Now, okay, maybe we don't jump to a conclusion before. See, even this lawyer seems to be going along with it. If you got a dead person and the organ's missing, you know it's not suicide. All right, I'm gonna play the video. Okay. Day's cause of death has not been released, and more thorough autopsy pending, including the results of toxicology tests. Okay. All right, let me see this. Let me play this little video. It ain't long.
Right now, we have more questions than answers, and we need to start getting some answers to our questions before we know the next step.
The FBI is now involved in the death of an Illinois grad student. It's what his family has wanted since the day he went missing.
But they are not pleased with how investigators are approaching this case. Natalie Baumke joins us live with more. Natalie?
and almost a month to identify his body once it was discovered. Now his mother is angry that instead of tracking down suspects, the FBI is looking at Jelani and a potential suicide.
He had his sound mind. He was not troubled by anything. We had just spoken on Monday. We have a family vacation that is planned for Thanksgiving. We were planning for that vacation.
Maybe we don't jump to a conclusion that this was a suicide before we know. I mean, I think that's what happened here.
Day's cause of death has not been released. A more thorough autopsy is pending, including the results of toxicology tests. His family is offering a more than $25,000 reward for information leading to what happened to Jelani. Right now, the family has obtained an attorney. You just heard from her, but they are not filing suit just yet. Sally.
Okay. Now, let me get over here to this. Gone and forgotten. Nearly 50 black girls missing in New York State. This is recent.
A Palos South 8th grader has done something most of us dream about, but never actually get around to.
All right. Let me see what date this is. I want to show you the date. I saw the date somewhere. Okay. Missing since September 3rd. See it up under there? Right here. All right. Let me read the little caption. Kelshisha Pierce, 15, missing since September 3rd, 2021, from Syosset, Long Island, and Kashmir Wright Ortiz, 18, missing from Manhattan since July 16, 2021. Okay, now, you know, what made me, way I look at this, I mean, how is there's a market for womb transplant? Some people ain't getting this, but there's certain segments of the population they can't reproduce. Okay. Let me see here. And I'm not accusing anybody of nothing, but you got to look at this too. You got to look at this too. I can't accuse nobody. I'm not there. You got to look at this stuff. Let's see. Let me see what this is. I'm doing an audible. I don't know what I'm gonna get. All these in the red, population decreasing. All right, let me see. Population increasing in Africa. Y'all think these white supremacists ain't bothered about that? In the green, they increasing. But in the red, it's decreasing. It's more than that. Let me see. Oh, that's just the greatest. All right, let me move on. What I'm getting at, white people, they've been saying this for years, they're having trouble reproducing. I'm saying look at this as a piece of the puzzle. Let me see what this is. You have to look at everything. And I believe what's going on, these scientists in these labs is getting our organs for some type of science project or whatever, organ harvesting or something. All right. Let me move back over here. You should ask yourself. Look at the womb transplant. Now, this also opened another door to these so-called LGBT community. Now they can take I'm just using this as an example. Now they could get, I'm not saying this is what happened, I'm just showing you an example. They could get the womb out of these young ladies. They right. Look, 15 and 22. and transplant them in a trans man, in a man now. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm saying something stinks. Something stinks. All right. We're going to have to do a better job of protecting our women. We're going to do a better job of protecting our people, period. Let me see. I got some comments over here. Shalom, Monica. How you doing? How you doing? All right. We got to do a better job of protecting ourselves. Some things we can do. We could learn the basics in forensics and DNA. The shows are out there. You got the internet. You can watch forensic on and get the basics of it. Okay. You can nowadays you can even purchase tracking devices for and give it to your friend or somebody. Be wary of who you're meeting. I'm just throwing ideas out there. And another thing, don't never take their autopsy. Don't take their word for nothing. Don't take their word for anything. All right? Just keep asking questions. And you know doggone well, ain't none of these men killed themselves with their organs missing. All three of them, I follow these stories. Every last one of them. All three of them, they was ruled suicides. All three of them. Kendrick, the other brother, all three of them were suicides. So you know the government is involved. If they're not involved and they're doing nothing, guess what? They are involved. But that's it for now. That's all I got. I want you to pay attention. Let me see what else out here. It was some more. It's some more out here. It's not lead the women right just yet. Yeah, they don't have no problem, and I ain't mad at them. They don't have no problem using up all the resources searching for white women. But when it's black women, black girls, you don't hear nothing about it. Look at here, tens of thousands of black women vanish each year. I'm not going to read this article, but you should read it yourself. You see it's NPR, you see the title. You can type that in and read it. Look, tens of thousands of black women vanish each year. Why ain't this on the headlines? We got to communicate with our people. We got to communicate with our children. Because if they gone, you're going to probably regret it. At least warn them. I know you can't stop nobody from going and doing nothing. At least warn them. Tell them if they sit their cup down and don't pick it up. If you take your eye off your cup, don't drink it. That's when I was out there going out, I set my cup down. I didn't pick it back up. None of that. I knew stuff better than that. Stuff like that. These new folks you're meeting online. If you see vans in your neighborhood, you see strangers roaming around your neighborhood, get license plates. Saw a man sitting at the doggone stop sign. Oh, I think he might have been lost. But when I showed up and looked at him, he got on. That's how you got to be. People just sitting around. You don't know who they are, where they come from. They in vans. Especially you men folk. See who that is. Get the license plate anyway. Let them know that you there. That's what you do. That'll make them think twice. Let them know you watching. If they ears up to no good, they'll know they got some eyes on them. They'll have to go somewhere else. But all right, I done went on. Take care. Love y'all family. Y'all be encouraged and shalom.